Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining the webinar today on achieving your goals, maximizing revenue using Talkable. So I have Mihika here and then myself, Veronica, and we're from the customer success team, and we're going to run through this webinar today. And so if you have any questions up front or along the way, or if there's any issues technically, please feel free to use the chat functionality in Zoom to send a message to either Mihika or myself, and we'll be monitoring those. There will be some time for questions in the end, but if you have them along the way, feel free to send those. So first of all, when signing up, we had a question which was related to what is your main goal for the referral program. And so we wanted to just present to you guys the results of that. The main answer was acquiring new customers, which a little bit over 30 people said that was their main goal. Second after that is maximizing revenue, which is our current, which is the focus of today's webinar, and then retaining customers, or retaining existing customers was also a focus for a few. One of the next webinars will be a new customer acquisition, so hopefully we hope to see you for that one as well, if that was your main goal. So today's agenda is focusing on maximizing revenue or using the referral program to maximize your sales and revenue. And so we're going to talk about the offer, a referral offer, and the structure of that specifically. Then we're going to talk about promotion, both on-site and off-site promotion of your referral program. After that, we're going to go through the different Talkable placements and some of best practices there. And then after that, a few suggestions thinking outside of the box that you may not know of or haven't heard about before. And then lastly, some time for questions. So first up is the offer. So just thinking out, why would I share an offer with my friends if it isn't the best offer available? We come across lots of e-commerce businesses that have many offers on site. Some of them being a referral program, some of them being for email sign-up or easily available on the site. We tend to see that advocacy is the highest when other discounts are not available, or if the referral offer is significantly higher than other promotions. Advocacy percentage, or advocacy is the percentage of people sharing. So basically what that means is that more people are going to share if what they're sharing is the strongest offer that's available on your e-commerce site. Usually people are more likely to share something when it's a great offer that they're sharing. Our standard recommendation is that your referral offer should be the highest offer on site, and we recommend that it's about 20% of your AOV. Obviously, each business varies, and you may have a great offer that's more or less than 20%, and it can still work out great. We're going to show you a graph, but there is a direct correlation between high usage of non-referral coupon codes and lower referral sales. So that means when you have a lot of offers or coupons available and a lot of sales are made with non-referral coupon codes, we tend to see that referral sales is lower. This has some examples of what we see on other sites, which can cannibalize the referral program and basically revert people away from sharing the referral program with friends and potential new customers. Some of the things that we standardly see are email sign-up pop-ups, competing offers like this wheel on the second screen, or competing or better offers such as offers in the banner, a pop-up which may be of a higher value than the referral program. So in that sense, people are less likely to share. In the bottom, you see gift 20, get $20. If your AOV is around $100, that's aligned with our best practice. So looking a little bit closer at the stats, what is the effect of other coupons on referral sales? So this is one of many factors, and not the only thing that matters, but there is a negative correlation between the total coupon uses on-site and referral revenue. And so basically what this graph is telling us is that the ones that are within the green, the companies that are within this green box tend to have a lower percentage of coupon code usage, which is correlated with a higher percentage of referral revenue. This is especially useful information for websites that only allow one coupon code per purchase, because in that case, if there's better offers out there, then people are more likely to use those and would not be able to use the referral coupon code at the same time. Lastly, here is some information about different offers that's been tested. So these are average numbers from A/B testing that we have done with lots of different clients. So our general recommendation is testing the offer to see what leads to the most revenue. Here are a couple of general examples. So in the first scenario, the advocate offer and the friend offer in this scenario is $20. The value is just as an example, but they're the same. And then the change for the testing is when we increase the advocate offer, but keep the friend offer the same. So in this scenario, we raised the advocate offer to 30. There was a 60%, in 61% cases or scenarios where we did this testing, there was an increase in advocacy rate, meaning more people started to share the offer when the advocate offer was increased and the friend offer was the same. In the scenario where the advocate and friend offer was the same prior to testing, and then we were testing against having a higher advocate offer and a lower friend offer, we saw in 58% of cases that there was a decrease in advocacy rate, meaning less people would share, even though they technically, as an advocate, had a potential to get more out of it. But since the friend offer was lowered, there was a decrease in sharing. In the last scenario, advocate and friend offer was the same, versus we're testing the advocate offer stays the same, but raising the friend offer in 63% of the cases, there was an increase in advocacy rate, meaning even though the advocate, the person sharing, got the potential same reward because they were sharing an offer that was better, they were more likely to share with their friends. So in general, in scenario 1 and in scenario 3, raising the offer for either the advocate or the friend increases the sharing, but keeping the amount constant and then dividing it up between the advocate and friend, as in the second case, didn't yield the same results. So the next part is going to be about promotion. So there's going to be, we're going to talk about on-site promotion on your site when people are already visiting your website. And then secondly, I'm going to talk about off-site promotion as well. So first of all, the question is, why should I include a link to my referral program on my website if I already have a post-purchase pop-up? People would see it once they make a purchase, so why is that necessary? If you want to maximize your revenue, you want to allow all visitors to your site to find the referral program. Only then would they be able to share. So you want to make it easy for people to find the referral program. If they made a purchase, they saw the pop-up, but they didn't share in that moment, you want to make it easy for them to go to your website and find the referral program. Make sure that that CTA or that call to action, that link on your website is appealing to click. Some examples would be get $20 or whatever your reward is for free stuff, to make sure that that's something that is appealing for visitors to click Examples are adding a CTA to the navigation bar, top banner, or in a carousel if you have that, to make it easy for people to find. A lot of people have a link in the footer too, but we tend to see that when there's a prominent CTA above the fold on the website, that definitely drives the most traffic and allows people to easily find and share. We've seen that you can get up to 50% of referral revenue from a prominent CTA on your website. Here is an example of from Pura Vida, who has both the floating widgets, which you can see over here on the right side, but they also have a very prominent CTA in the banner, which you can see here in the red box in the top left corner. Speaking specifically about off-site promotion. So one thing is, of course, on-site promotion, making sure that people that get to your site have access and can find the referral program easily. But not everybody are visiting your site all the time. So here are some of the thoughts around why you would also want to make sure you promote the program externally or off-site, via email, via social media, or via paid ads. You want to engage your followers by making it easy to find your referral program. Again, only then can they share. Generally, we see that the more you promote the program, the better your chances of success and maximizing your referral revenue. You don't want to wait. The most successful programs promote off-site from the beginning of launching a referral program, but also throughout the process, having monthly touch points or having weekly ads or having something that's a constant in your other projects. Generally, we see that advocacy rate, meaning the percentage of people that share, is about 7.5% from post-purchase, but it's 14% from an invite campaign. So once you get that traffic to your invite campaign, they're much more likely to share. Here are some examples of off-site promotion. From the left, this is an email blast that's being sent out to the entire marketing email list, which has specifically the CTA in the email is refer a friend today. It's a very focused, dedicated email. It's clear that it's give $15, save 30%. The one in the middle is an example of a paid ad. And then on the right side is an example of a CTA in a confirmation, order confirmation email. So once someone has made a purchase, they receive an email confirming their order, and in the bottom, in the yellow box, you can see that there is a clear CTA to let other people know what is the offer. So here are a couple of examples. You're more than welcome to reach out to us for additional examples or any questions, of course. So here are some of the data that we found while looking at different types of promotions. So basically, the more traffic sources, the more success. Traffic sources are based on these links. So imagining that your site is Talkable, that's the name of your website. Adding the traffic source on the link to that share page, including, for example, in the banner or in an email blast that you'll be sending out. The more traffic sources, meaning the more different initiatives you take to drive people to your invite referral campaign, the more likely you are to have a higher percentage of referral revenue from that invite page. So that's what this graph says. If you have one traffic source compared to if you have 7 traffic sources, you're more likely to have a much higher percentage of referral revenue from that invite campaign. Well,
So moving from those CTAs to actually talking about those talkable placements in some more detail. Perfect. So we worked with our analytics team a little bit to understand how adding more talkable placements and how adding specific talkable placements can help increase your percentage of revenue that you are getting from talkable. So in the first case here that you see, adding more talkable placements on average increase the percentage of referral revenue by 1.68 times. So for example, if you're getting 2% of your referral revenue from Talkable, you can increase that to about 3.36%, and we'll go into some specifics on the next slide. In the next case, this is specifically focused on that floating widget, and so adding a floating widget on average increased that percentage of referral revenue by 1.72 times. So in a case where you're getting 2% of revenue from Talkable, you can increase that to about 3.44%. So let's take a look at a couple of cases here. So here's an example. Client A currently earns about $50,000 per month from Talkable from that post-purchase pop-up. What they did was they added a standalone campaign, and the way that they promoted the standalone campaign is through a prominent homepage CTA in the nav bar, through some standalone email blasts, and promoting it through other emails as Veronica showed in some of those prior slides. And what they did find was their revenue increased from that $50,000 per month with a 68% increase to over $75,000 a month. In example 2, client A currently earns about $80,000 per month from Talkable. So they have a post-purchase pop-up. They also have a standalone campaign. Those are the 2 campaigns that they're currently using. And what they did was they added a floating widget to both desktop and mobile. And with this, they saw a 72% of increase in revenue. So from $80,000, they went almost to $150,000 per month by adding that floating widget. So definitely the more placements you have, we've seen the more revenue you're going to earn. A couple of other ideas here. So this is thinking a little bit outside the box. These are some ideas that maybe you've already implemented, but for most of our customers, these aren't things that we've currently implemented. And if your focus is really on maximizing revenue, we do strongly encourage you discussing these options with your customer success team. So the first is actually on fraud settings. And so I'm sure you're fairly aware of the fraud settings in your Talkable platform. But some of the things that you might want to think about is to maximize revenue, having looser fraud settings might work better. There are some cases, some specific fraud settings that do have a chance of false positives, and we'll go over that today. So to start with, we do always recommend having that matching cookie on and having that friend and advocate refer each other. There's not really a false positive in this case. If it's a matching cookie, it's definitely somebody trying to self-refer, and we don't want to allow cross-referral, which is the friend and advocate referring each other. The third one is an IP address and user agent. Now, this is pretty dependent on your business, I would say. What we do when we block an IP address and user agent is we take a look at your IP address, and then we also take a look at the device and browser that you're using. If it's the exact same, that looks suspicious to us, and we block you as a self-referral. In a lot of cases, this wouldn't be an issue, and we can still have the setting on for a lot of customers. But let's say that your customers are the kind of people that are referring people in the same office. Oftentimes, offices are highly regulated. Everybody has to have the same versions of browsers. You're only allowed to use that one browser. And in all of those cases, you are going to get caught as a self-referral. And so, you know, if you're not too worried about fraud and you really want to maximize that revenue, we'd recommend loosening that up and skipping that fraud setting. Some additional fraud settings that do have more false positives. So we do have an option to block just on IP address. We don't recommend this in any case for most of our customers, but especially when you're looking at that maximization of revenue, blocking on IP address will not allow people who are on the same college campus, who are sitting in the same office to refer each other. So we definitely don't recommend that as a setting because the chances of false positives is quite high. Another example is similar email match. And I would say that this is especially true for those customers where you see a lot of family members referring each other. Family members oftentimes have very similar email addresses. And so when they do have similar email addresses, we do block those. So I would recommend thinking about your business. Are you the kind of business where people might have a lot of similar emails? Could be the same office situation as well. For example, if it's Talkable, we use our first name, last name, mv@talkable.com. And then I refer Veronica, vf@talkable.com. Those are pretty similar and those will get blocked. So think about that a little bit more. And then finally, matching shipping address. People do oftentimes ship to their offices these days. They might ship to dorm rooms or campuses. And if you are, again, the kind of business where people in the same office and campus are referring each other, might be a fraud setting that you want to skip to miss out on those false positives. So another topic here is offers for existing customers plus self-referrals. Most of our customers have incentives only for the new customer. So if I, the advocate, refer my friend, that friend has to be a new customer in order to get the Talkable offer. And that makes a lot of sense if what you're looking at as your only KPI is new customer acquisition. But if revenue is one of your KPIs, you might want to consider having an existing customer offer and even a self-referral offer. So what the existing customer offer does, and the way that we've set this up for most of our customers, is we don't have it equal to the new customer offer. It's typically of a lesser value. But if you're this kind of site where a lot of people are using coupon codes anyway, and you really want your customers to come back and make purchases, do give that existing customer an offer. The same thing with self-referral as well. We do have self-referral incentives set up for some customers because oftentimes people will buy mostly just using coupon codes on that site. So just go ahead and give that coupon code on that self-referral screen. Specifically, what we did find is that customers that do have a self-referral offer, 7% of their referral revenue actually came from those self-referral offers. And those people that have an existing customer offer, 11% of the referral revenue came from existing customers. So add that on top of the current revenue you're getting, and that definitely will help you get more revenue. So here's a couple of examples, and definitely talk to your customer success team if you'd like to set this up. This is something that you can set up yourself as well if you wanted to. But on the left side, this is an existing customer offer. So it says this offer is for first-time customers only, but here's 10% off plus free shipping on your purchase of Society 6. On the right side, this is an example from Pura Vida. We give 50% off to new customers, but you know, if you are a self-referral and you're trying to make a purchase and you're just looking for a code, here's 25% off. Come back, make a purchase. Okay, great. So that wraps up the content that we do have for our webinar. I do see a couple of questions that have come through, so we'd be happy to jump into that. And now is also your opportunity. If you can send me a chat message, or if you want to send that to Veronica, you know, please feel free to ask some questions. So starting with the first question.
Certainly, yeah. So we have one question around on-site placement. So basically, which on-site placement is the most effective?
So yeah, I'm happy to take that one. I would say an on-site placement that is the most effective is one that's the most visible to your customers on most pages. Obviously, the floating widget's always great, and that's why we always recommend it on desktop and mobile. But if you're looking at putting something, a CTA on your page above the fold, something in your nav bar that's clearly visible, that example that Veronica did show earlier in the webinar with Pura Vida, having it up there, kind of the first thing almost on right up top. So the more visible and the more pages that placement is on, the more likely people are going to see it and click on it. Veronica, anything else you want to add there?
No, I think that definitely seems reasonable. Cool. We have another question related to the fraud settings or that self-referral offer that Mahika just explained. Just around if I'm setting myself up to too much risk if I also give self-referrals a specific offer. Don't know if you want to elaborate a little bit on that, Mahika.
Yeah, absolutely. So with self-referrals, you know, if you're the kind of site where the only way that you give out coupon codes is through that Talkable new customer coupon code, and you're not giving out coupon codes any other way, then sure, skip the self-referral offer. But if you are giving out coupon codes easily on your site, let's say you have a coupon code for email opt-ins, you might have some coupon codes that sometimes pop up on coupon sites. The more coupon codes you have, the more likely people are going to look for coupon codes to make purchases on your site. And so anybody, I would say, that has a lot of people using coupon codes for purchases on their site should definitely consider the self-referral offer. We just want to encourage, at the end of the day, this is a customer that's going to come back and make a purchase on your site. So definitely weigh what your margins are when you are deciding what that self-referral offer should be. But if it is something that works well for your site, definitely include it.
Yeah, the only thing I would add is just that once you're trying to self-refer, you know, it may be a more positive experience when you see, oh, this offer wasn't intended for me, but oh, I still get 10% or 25%, just create a positive experience for the user. Cool. So then there's a question related to the traffic sources. So we spoke about those different traffic sources that can be added to the different promotions on-site and off-site, leading people to the referral share page. But there's a question around how do you check that in Talkable, or how do you see the traffic from the different traffic sources?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is typically actually is included in most of our reports, but the metrics aggregation report is one that our team uses internally quite a bit. And so the same way that, let's say you're looking up revenue in your metrics aggregation report and you want to divide it up by month, you can do the same thing with traffic sources. So definitely, you know, if you aren't sure how to do this already, I'm sure your customer success team would be happy to send you some screenshots or talk you through it. But it is something that's really easy to do, and you can track all the metrics. So you can track the number of people that came in through that traffic source. You can see what that advocacy percentage is. You can even see the revenue that's related to that specific traffic source. And if you do have a lot of traffic sources, it's something that we do encourage you to track, just so that you can measure what are the most effective means if you're promoting your referral program. Let's say your email blast that you do once in 6 months about referral really brings in a lot of revenue. You might want to consider doing that a little bit more often and maybe removing something that's not working quite as well. So definitely it's good to take note of that, understand how those traffic sources are working, and plan your referral strategy according to it. And if you haven't used traffic sources so far, definitely talk to your customer success team about how you can add those in. It just gives you more insight into how you're promoting your program and what channels are working the best. Certainly.
One more question, not related to traffic sources specifically, but related to promoting the program off-site. A question around which channels work best. So I don't know if you, sure. So generally, I mean, every business is different. So you obviously want to try different things out and see what resonates with your customers. Is email promotion, is social media, what kind of works best. We generally say to send out emails to your entire subscriber list, because even if someone is not a recent customer or a customer at all, they may still want to share the product with someone that could be interested in the product, even though they may never have purchased themselves. They would definitely be a follower. We have also seen people have success by promoting on social media, on Facebook. You could do that on Instagram as well, if you have a large group of followers there.
Okay, awesome. That sounds great. Perfect. So I don't see any other questions coming in. So, you know, we'll definitely plan to wrap this up at this point. We'll, of course, you know, follow up with a recording of this as well. But if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to either of us or to your customer success team. We're definitely happy to talk through these strategies with you. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good rest of your day.